Good evening, everyone. The regular meeting of the Bellflower City Council is called to order on Monday, August 24, 2026 at 5:32 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dutton?
Here.
Councilmember Coops?
Here.
Councilmember Morse?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez?
Here.
Mayor Santinez?
Here. Closed session items. Mr. Smooth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council will recess the closed session for two items, 3A and 3B, as listed on the agenda.
Okay, any recusals?
I have recusals on 3A and 3B. Their property interest on both addresses.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, any question to staff? Okay, any comments from the public? Please go ahead. Please sign in and identify yourself.
Do I need to recuse myself now?
Yes.
Is this also for potential
Hold on,
litigation?
Hold on.
Myra, do I need to leave now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
When is gonna, hold on. When
Wait
is
for
gonna
her to leave.
and-
Okay.
She's conflicted.
I'm complete.
All right, go ahead.
So is this where I also can speak about potential litigation?
If it's on the agenda.
But you don't have the, usually you have like a placeholder for potential litigation, but I've been trying to have a meeting with the city manager
So it's
and
not on the
my
agenda.
council members regarding preventing potential litigation, but I'm also concerned about the post office. It would be nice to know I've heard ideas of the plan to move the post office, and like, is it going to be a mixed use plan? Also, you want to make sure you get a good market rate deal that's fair market value. I own properties in Bellflower and other cities. I know the county assessor has been doing a terrible job of evaluating properties, so don't look at the county assessor. Get multiple market evaluations of the property. I have like 3 property assessment appeals. I just won a partial refund because the county assessor is not doing their job. So make sure you have really good market evaluations so we're not overpaying for anything. And I like to, so then I can speak about more in detail about potential litigation during the open session then?
As public comments. You will have 3 minutes, whatever it is.
So can I right now talk about potential litigation?
Not during this time.
But
Because it's not on the
for
agenda.
number 11,
It's not on the agenda.
I go back to that.
But
Okay,
at
thank you.
7 p.m. you can speak on the public comments. Okay, anyone else? All right, with that, we will recess to closed
Mr. Mayor,
session.
I'm sorry. We do have a call-in remote
Oh,
participant
okay, please. Oh,
who has a hand raised. They are a call-in user, so you can press, it would be *9 if you're on the phone, and we will unmute you at this time.
do we know who it is?
They're only identified as call-in user 1.
Okay. Turn it off. All right. With that, we will recess to closed session. Good evening, Bellflower. The regular meeting of the Bellflower City Council is called to order on Monday, August 24, 2026 at 7 p.m. We are reconvening from closed sessions, and there were no reportable action taken during the closed session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dutton?
Here.
Councilmember Coops?
Here.
Councilmember Morse?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez?
Here.
Mayor Santinez?
Here. Tonight's invocation will be led by Councilmember Ray Danton, and then Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Brian McNerney, our Director of Public Safety. So please rise.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, please watch over us as we do business here tonight, and lend us your wisdom to share with our community so we can grow strong together. Let every resident of Bellflower prosper in their own way of life. And let's not forget our first responders and our servicemen out there far and beyond to watch over. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Please place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ray, and thank you, Brian. There's no request to appear remotely from city council members, and so we're moving on with city council announcement. And let me start. Join us on Thursday, October 1st, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. for the City of Bellflower's annual State of the City presentation and luncheon at the main event center located at 16400 Bellflower Boulevard. This annual event brings our community together to celebrate Bellflower's achievements over the past year, while looking ahead for the vision, priorities, and goals guiding our city's future. Tickets are $50 per person and are available now for purchase to September 16, 2026. Tickets may be purchased online at bellflower.ca.gov or in person at Sims, Thompson, or Carruthers Park. For more information, please call 562-804-1424, extension 2267. Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Bellflower. The Bellflower Looking Better program is back this September. This long-standing residential improvement initiative supports community beautification by coordinating yard sales and providing free trash removal. Residents who wish to participate in the neighborhood yard sale must pre-register online and host the sale at their residence. Area 6 yard sales will be held on Saturday, September 12th, and on September 19th, free dumpsters will be available for residents to dispose of their remaining items. To check your designated neighborhood area or learn more, please visit bellflower.ca.gov or call the Volunteer Center at 562-804-1424, extension 2331. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Victor. Councilmember Dan Coops.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bellflower residents are invited to responsibly dispose of old electronics during the upcoming e-waste recycling event on September 19 and 20th. This event will take place from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that will be at Woodruff Elementary School, and that's located at 15332 Eucalyptus Avenue. That's just off of Alondra. This event will be a great opportunity to dispose of electronics that have reached the end of their useful life. Accepted items include computer monitors, televisions, printers, laptops, home entertainment systems, cell phones, and more. Fluorescent light bulbs and household batteries are not accepted. Please note that major appliances such as refrigerators and microwaves will incur a service charge if dropped off. For more information, please call 562-804-6545. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dan. Councilwoman Wendy Morse.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Bellflower. The Bellflower Economic Development Department is scheduling on-site appointments through its Business Visitations Program, open to brick-and-mortar businesses of all sizes. The program gives local businesses owners and local business owners, an opportunity to showcase their operations, discuss growth opportunities and challenges, and connect directly with city representatives and available resources. These visits also help the city better understand the needs of Bellflower's business community and build lasting partnerships that support local success. Following each visit, participating businesses may choose to be featured in a business spotlight in the city's monthly newsletter. To schedule your on-site visit, please contact Amy Yashiro. I'm going to spell that AMEEYASHEROW at bellflower.ca.gov. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Wendy. Councilmember Ray Dunton.
Thank you, Mayor. The 28th Annual Bellflower Car Show, co-hosted by the Bellflower Lions Foundation and the City of Bellflower, returns on Saturday, October 3rd from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Bellflower Boulevard will become alive with an impressive lineup of classic cars, community booths, live music, and delicious food from our local restaurants. Throughout the afternoon, attendees can pick up free giveaways from many participating vendors and even register for a chance to win a car from George Chevrolet. The city will also be distributing free oil change kits to Bellflower residents while supplies last. Bellflower, bring the whole family here to Bellflower and join us for an afternoon of free, family-friendly fun in the heart of downtown Bellflower. For more information, please call 562-804-1424 or visit the website bellflowercarshow.com. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ray. Tonight we have a couple of presentations. The first one is a presentation from the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District, and tonight we have our very own General Manager, Susan Clue. You have to take the hot seat, Susan.
Got the hot seat. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, also our Vice President over there at Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control, honorable members of the board, residents of the beautiful city of Bellflower. I'm really happy that you invited me here today. I think we are at my last slide here, so maybe I can just go back to the beginning. Oh, one too far. Weird. Anyhow, so your local vector control district, Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District, I know we have county in the name, but we are an independent special district, not in any way affiliated with the county structure. We are one of 5 vector control districts in Los Angeles County. The largest one that you can see there on the map in orange, just to see the span that we encompass. Our main concerns are, of course, mosquitoes, and then to a lesser extent, black flies, mostly in the LA River because they need running water, and some of the smaller tributaries, as well as midge control, those mostly in those spreading basins where water sits for extended periods of time. However, we apply what's called integrated vector management across all of these fields of interest. We conduct the surveillance, then we initiate the appropriate control, and we always try to also educate our residents about what we are doing and what they are supposed to be doing to protect themselves. So we have a host of diseases here that we have to worry about. Tonight I want to mostly talk about the mosquitoes, since they are our #1 disease risk here in Los Angeles County. We have, in the past few years, newly had occasional transmission locally of dengue fever. That kind of ebbs and falls with how much dengue fever there is worldwide and how many travelers bring the disease back to their cities, their home cities here. Now that we have these invasive Aedes mosquitoes, people call them the ankle biters, that really pester all of us, myself included. They seem to hate me pretty much. They really pester us all day, and unfortunately we haven't found a good way of controlling them yet. But then since 2003, we have annually problems with West Nile virus, and this is what we want to talk about mostly today. And then we occasionally see some St. Louis encephalitis. Those last 2 diseases transmitted by our local house mosquito, not those invasive ones. So that's good news in a way. So this year we had the warmest winter on record for California, and that has really had a big impact on our mosquito populations early in the season, as well as on the virus development. You know, the mosquitoes don't have an inside body temperature like birds do or people do. So inside the mosquito is the same temperature as outside the mosquito. The virus needs a pretty high temperature to develop. And so the warmer it is outside, the warmer it is inside the mosquito, and the virus can really amplify. Have that combined with the fact that the last few years have been pretty quiet, at least sort of here in the Los Angeles basin area for West Nile virus. So we have a lot of new bird hatchlings that had never had West Nile, and so there's a lot of birds that can get infected and then can infect more mosquitoes, and with the hot temperatures, the virus multiplies. So in July, you can see in light blue and dark blue are the last 2 years. The green line is our 5-year average for positive mosquito samples in July, and you can see how many folds over the regular July averages we were this year for West Nile virus. So definitely a lot of West Nile virus out there. August is looking a little better for now, but we don't have all the August data yet. So that orange bar for August is still going to rise a bit. For the city of Bellflower, so far this year, we have 4 mosquito samples positive. So you're not doing all that badly compared to cities surrounding us. So you can see here that our activity in 26 at the bottom started a full 2 months early due to the warm winter and spring where the virus could really start amplifying, and that also led basically to the high numbers of virus activity that we see, and a lot of dead birds reported from the cities here and in the general South Bay that have the disease. What we do and did all spring and summer is we really try these Culex quinquefasciatus mosquitoes there on the left-hand side. Those are our local house mosquitoes. We knew after that warm winter we were going to be in for it with West Nile virus, and so we started working really hard right from the beginning to keep those numbers low. And what you can see right there in orange is the current West Nile virus vector numbers, not only below the last 2 years in abundance, but also quite significantly below our 5-year average. So staff has worked very hard to try and not have a lot of mosquitoes out there that can transmit the disease. So in that sense, we are good. Before we had these invasive mosquitoes, everybody got about a bite, and one bite in summer, and those bites would cause West Nile virus in some years up to 400 cases in our districts that serve 6 million residents. So there's that little bit of risk, especially at dawn and dusk, that we all need to be vigilant and use repellent to not be bitten by one of these West Nile virus mosquitoes. On the other side, on the right side, you see that we're having a really bad year with these invasive ankle biters, Aedes aegypti this year. They are up above the last 2 years as well as our 5-year average quite significantly. And we are really working intensely on trying to figure out how best to control them. Right now, we're working on what's called sterile insect technique, where we expose male mosquitoes who don't bite. Only the females bite because they need the protein for their eggs. The males don't bite, so we rear these males. We expose them to a little bit of X-ray like you get at the dentist, and that renders their reproductive cells invalid. And so when they go out, we put them out and they mate with our wild females. There is no valid offspring. So that's really the only thing we've found so far that's really good at controlling these mosquitoes. So we will be doing a lot more outreach in regards to that in hopes that our property owners eventually will be willing to approve an extra amount of money to bring this to all the cities and expand out from our current area of pilot. So here another picture of what we're up against. This is on the left last year's activity. In red, the mosquito samples. In green, the birds. In blue, some chickens that LA County West Mosquito Control still uses for surveillance. And then on the right, this year, and you can see not only is West Nile virus really up in our district, it is also really very prevalent this year in neighboring districts like the San Gabriel Valley and Orange County. So everybody is struggling with that effects of that warm winter. What do we do for the city of Bellflower? Well, we have last year, this year's tallies are still outstanding. Last year we treated and inspected 2,200 of your underground storm drain lids to be sure that mosquitoes don't emerge. We had 281 swimming pool, doi boy inspections, and about 900 inspections that are other sources, not pools or underground storm drains. There's thousands of miles of underground storm drains. Just to give you a good picture of how that distributes over your city, we are pretty much active within all of your boundaries, and everybody can certainly call us and put in a service request. We send somebody out, help you inspect your own yard for mosquito breeding, and even inspect your neighbors' yards to see where a mosquito problem that you're experiencing is coming from. It may not be the end all for your mosquito problems, but we're certainly here to try help and educate our residents. So with that, we really hope that everybody in the city and the residents will partner with us, will follow and share our updates on our social media accounts, encourage the residents to call our district so that we can be of service, and add a district tab maybe to the website where we can have a list of items that are important to the district. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Suzanne. As Suzanne mentioned earlier, I serve as the Vice President of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Los Angeles Vector Control District. That group is just a very dedicated bunch of people who are very passionate about trying to control mosquitoes in our district. So kudos to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, thank
I have
you.
a couple of questions. You mentioned about the cost initially in one of the first slides per parcel. How does the our district compared with other districts within California?
Within all of California, I can't say, but within Los Angeles County, we're still one of the cheaper ones. We're currently charging a homeowner, single-family homeowner, $18.97 annually, whilst most of our neighbors are already into the $20 range. So we feel this $20. We have a cap for $20. That cap was instituted in 1996, just before Proposition 218. And we have lived under those means for the last 30 years. So we feel we have been very prudent with our taxpayer money. We are still good with supporting our current efforts with that money. But if we want to release 10 sterilized males for every wild male out there over our 1,000 square mile area, that's going to be a big undertaking that is certainly going to need more staff and ability to do that. So we're hoping that at the end of 27, we have educated all of our homeowners to understand what services they would be getting if they were in favor of adding a little bit of money to
Can you
us.
talk more about the Estelle mosquito technology? Right now, it's on a pilot project.
It is a pilot project right now. We're seeing excellent results. It's in the Sunland, Tahunga area, only because there we have relatively good abundance of these ankle biters. And also we have areas that are kind of isolated from the rest of the urban world. So when we release there, not as many mosquitoes can migrate in from other urban areas since these mosquitoes don't fly very far. So we have a good understanding of how well it works in that area. Now we're expanding out southwards because we're trying to find out how much of a buffer do we need around the release area to prevent re-invading of mosquitoes in that area. So we're still sorting that out, but it's been shown very effective. I think overall we had an 85% reduction of these mosquitoes, and we really hope we can get ourselves our backyards back from these ankle biters into the future with that technology.
And then finally, what kind of practical advice can you give our residents to help control the mosquito population, especially on their backyards?
Yeah, you know, since there is 100 of us, and during the summer 137 with our seasonal help, and we are servicing about 1 million or so parcels, you know, we can't be controlling everybody's bottle cap, and that's as small a thing as these mosquitoes can breed in. So we really urging our residents to not have standing water in their yards of any sort. And I know, like, we sometimes forget we have a cooler somewhere from the last party, and then before you know it, it is breeding mosquitoes. So we encourage everybody to go and double check everything, make sure you don't have any of these, because the mosquitoes will not just bite you, they'll bite your neighbors. And so avoid standing water, and if in doubt that you can't find the source, give us a call and we will come out and help you with evaluating your yard and potentially your neighbor's yards as well to try and eliminate these sources. The best thing is to prevent standing water. Nothing else have we found that works as well as keeping these mosquitoes in check.
And the number to call?
And what?
And the phone number to call. if
The
they need some-
phone number to call is 562-944-9656.
Okay, got it. All right, any question of Suzanne?
Yes.
Councilmember Dunn.
So, do you raise your own sterile mosquitoes?
Yes.
So you raise mosquitoes there? It does it amazes me when you put that radiation on them to get them sterile or whatever. How do you know all the males?
Well, we raise males and females, and then we basically discard half of what we've raised.
So you zap.
We sort them out. We sort them out. Males
Really?
are a little bit smaller
So
than the
physically
females.
with tweezers or whatever?
No,
That's-
in the pupal stage with two glass boards pressed against
Oh,
each
it's-
other,
okay,
and it
and
gets smaller and smaller, so it forms these
So you
bands.
can kind of tell before
Yeah,
they're hatched.
the littler males are staying further up, and the females, and then we can release the
I was
females
just
out.
curious. Good.
Well, if
I knew
anybody
there had
would
to be an
like to
answer.
come see some of that, we
Yeah.
are very open to having you come by and see how we're doing that. But it is quite an undertaking
So
if we
when you
want to do
release
this.
in an area sterile mosquitoes, how many would be released at a
So
given time?
in our small pilot area, it's about 225-acre plots in the area of Sunland and Tahanga up there. We released the last 2 years about 600,000
Oh my
mosquitoes
gosh!
each.
Okay.
Yeah, so releasing enough mosquitoes, it would be a progressive plan to spread this over the county. We would start here and there, and then, when you throw a stone in the water,
yeah.
it kind of waves out from there, and eventually we hopefully would be covering all of our service
You're
area.
still learning. It's what you're saying.
We are,
yeah.
yeah, but it's looking really positive, and we are counting on that being out of silver bullet.
How long does it take to raise a sterile mosquito? I guess.
Well, like out in the wild, where temperatures vary, mosquitoes take anywhere from 3 to 5 days between the egg being laid and the adult hatching out of the water and flying off to look for a mate or a blood meal, depending. And so, but in the lab, we control that pretty well because we want them all to be the same size, and we control how much we feed them and all of these things. So.
How much is so you're raising them in batches? You can't possibly do 600,000
Yeah.
at once. So how
Yeah.
much how big is a batch?
Well, like every week we release, I think we did releases, I don't want to lie how much we do every week, but we release from May through October, and then over every week, and I could do the math real quick on my,
I can do
yeah,
it,
how many, 600,000, so,
divided
yeah.
by a bunch of weeks.
Many a week, yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's so. Just curious. Thank you.
Yeah,
And by the way, the plant I visited was in Los Alamitos. It was quite impressive.
Oh, yeah, that is actually the sterile fruit fly program
yeah.
that agriculture is undertaking. They control Mexican and European invasive fruit flies by releasing sterile fruit fly males from a plane over Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino County since the 70s.
Right.
It's quite impressive. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, thank you for the presentation. Just a quick question. You touched on it a couple times. You said in 2027. Is this going to be a ballot measure, or how will this proposition
It
come
is
to
a
the
Proposition 218 vote, so ballots will be sent out only to property owners within our service area.
Okay, and that's in November?
That's going to be like in late October probably, and we will do a lot of outreach trying to explain what we're doing, and so that residents and property owners can be informed when they make that vote.
Very good. And you elaborated as a minimal amount. Do you know the exact number?
Yeah,
or
I
have you
mean,
not
we
decided
haven't, we were still, last year we did kind of a trial balance where we said it might be up to $20. Again, like here, it took us the last 30 years to get to the $20. But that wasn't, property owners were not in love with that number. So we're really sharpening our pencils and see how far down can we bring it to, in hopes to still afford what we want to do with that assessment should it be approved.
yet? Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Coops.
Yes, my question, you mentioned you had 100 full-time employees and 130 seasonal.
We have 37 seasonals.
30, so that's on top of the 100.
That's on top of the 100, yeah.
And so what months of the year do they operate?
The seasonals are brought on in April, and we used to let them go in September, but now that our summer stretches way into November, we let them. This year, we're planning on releasing our seasonals on November 6th.
So how much more in a perfect world do you want to hit the $20 mark on your assessment or less than that?
Well, on our current assessment,
It's 1897 or
yeah,
whatever.
it's
you-
1897. We are currently building and renovating a new facility. We bought and are renovating a new facility in Pacoima because our San Fernando Valley office in Soma is kind of too small. And so while we're still doing that, I think we're going to stay relatively close to those $19 for the next few years. And I know my vice president does not like me saying that ever, but I think after we're done paying off that facility renovation and the purchase, I think we have room to come back down even into the mid-17s with our current services. And then for the sterile insect program, we would probably set an assessment of maybe $15, this is hypothetical, but then we wouldn't start out right there. So right as we grow the program, we would build that program and slowly raise that assessment as we need it. Every one of our budgets every year only raises exactly the amount of money that we need to do what we need to do that year. We're never overestimating anything or just raising the same amount whether we need it or not. Our board holds us to a pretty close
And what's your,
account.
what's the number, the budget, annual budget?
Our annual budget is a little over $25 million currently.
Okay, that's all my questions.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Morse?
I mostly thank you for your presentation, but I know most of us on this council, if not all of us, know someone that passed away from West Nile virus here in Bellflower, and it is serious, and none of us want it. So,
Yeah, and we have already lost the first person for this year. The health department reported that one of our residents in the San Fernando Valley passed away recently, and we take these deaths and really also the infections, very seriously and personal. And we're sorry that our message that asks for people to protect themselves with repellent from that last bite that we can't prevent. And when that doesn't get through and somebody passes away, that's a loss for us.
yeah. But thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you so much for the wonderful presentation. Suzanne, that was a very exciting topic, so can I give you one of our challenge coins?
Yeah, certainly.
right.
I'd love to have one.
Can you take our photo?
You want your foot in it?
Thank you so much. Be safe.
All right, thank you. Keep up the good work. All right, our next presentation is from the Bellflower Civic Chorus. Just for the information of our viewing public, every now and then we invite one of our service clubs to make a presentation before City Council. So this time, it's the Civic Chorus. And we have Gay Griffin and Gail Gedge making the presentation. Okay, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, and city staff. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you tonight. I just want to introduce myself to you. My name is Gay Griffin, and I grew up in Lakewood, and I graduated high school in 1972, and when I graduated from Lakewood High, I got my first job at Uncle Bud's Kitchen. And so that was quite a few years ago. And so that's where I started learning about community. And I place a big value on what we do here in Bellflower for our community. Then I got married, and we decided that we were going to stay in Bellflower. So we bought a house. We raised our children. All our children went to Bellflower schools. I have all our grandchildren are in Bellflower schools, and the community that the value that they get from the community. They were in the football, cheer, marching band, traveling in the world, the United States anyway. And it was so much value for them to have this community here. So I want to applaud you all and thank you so much for what you're doing for us in Bellflower. We really, really love it. And as city leaders, you work tirelessly to build a functional, safe infrastructure for our residents. But a city needs more than just physical infrastructure. It needs social and cultural infrastructures to truly thrive. That is where we come in. Founded in 1965, the Bellflower Civic Corps is proud to operate directly under the umbrella of the city of Bellflower. Our mission is deeply aligned with yours to create a musical organization that fosters lasting, meaningful relationships with the people of Bellflower and enhances the civic pride of our community. We serve as a unique tool for civic engagement. Every week, residents gather at Sims Park to practice, bridge differences, and build a cohesive neighborhood, a network of neighborhoods. We bring life and culture to our city-owned facilities by packing the William and Jane Bristol Civic Auditorium inside this city hall. For our 3 annual concert series, we help ensure our municipal venues remain vibrant cultural hubs. Furthermore, our mission outlines a commitment to cooperate with other approved local groups. We expand the city's reach by collaborating with local nonprofits, schools, and cultural organizations to advance shared civic goals. In order to bring music into our community, we would like to connect to organizations and events such as the Christmas caroling, street fest, chili cook-offs, car shows, etc. Perhaps as a request, we could have phone numbers or a way and get a hold of event organizers so that we can participate with these groups, maybe set up a booth or be able to perform at a street fest, say. And also, you know what? I saw this weekend that the Bellflower Symphony had a concert in the park. I thought that was so beautiful, and I wasn't there, but I listened to it online. It was so beautiful. And I was thinking maybe we could collaborate something with the choir so that we could have maybe a patriotic thing, you know, like they used to do back in the old days. So anyway, that was my thought on that. Okay, our mission directly supports your demographic goals. Bellflower is beautifully diverse, spanning multiple generations. All my children are here. There's my mom, myself, my children, and their children are still here in Bellflower. And so we're really thankful for what Bellflower has given us. We conscientiously choose a repertoire from America's standards to classic rock that ensures every generation feels represented. By creating space where a teenager and a grandparent can sing side by side, we strengthen the intergenerational social fabric of our city. And right now what we're doing with our shows is we're having 2 music classes come and perform with us. Half of them come on Saturday and half come on Sunday, and they do a couple of the songs. So it puts them out into the audience, getting them ready to perform, and it gives them a value that they're really special. So that's what we like to do. Our vision asserts that music touches the human soul more deeply than the spoken word. In times of division or stress, the arts provide comfort, healing, and unity that policy alone cannot achieve. So our outreach that we do for our community is we go to senior citizen retirement homes, and we have sing-alongs, and that's been relatively successful. And then We're working with the schools to encourage our next generation to the performance arts. We have social media where we do a lot of our advertisement. We're working with children to mold them, not just in arts, but in adulthood. And we would like to introduce ourselves more to the local businesses, listing them and advertising them in our performance and our programs here. And inside here, we have, like they put their ads in here, and they give a donation for it. And then they have, like this one here is one that's a half a page, Uncle Bud's Kitchen right there. It lasts all year, okay? So that's what we're doing right now. So I want to thank you all so much for listening to me. Of course, to let you know, I wasn't supposed to be the one coming here to do this. It was told to me Saturday that they couldn't make it. They had back to school night. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Of course, Gay. First of all, thank you so much for making this presentation. On a personal level, I really admire you because, as you mentioned earlier, you used to work with Uncle Bud's. She's a great cook for Uncle Bud's. And then she's a professional ballroom dancer. Professional ballroom dancer. So when I saw Gay a couple of concerts ago, I approached her. I said, Gay, you do all these things. What else can you not do? So I was very impressed. So can you talk more about the civic chorus? How do someone can become a member?
Well, at the present time, anyone can come and be a member.
What do they need to do? Contact you? Contact someone?
They can come to Sims Park on Tuesdays.
Tuesday, okay.
So
every Tuesday is a rehearsal?
Yeah, and that is at 5:30.
5:30.
And then they need to probably wait until after this concert is over. So our concert is September 12th and September 13th.
That's Saturday and Sunday.
And it is a 100-year celebration of Route 66.
Oh, wow. Okay. And by the way, it's kind of interesting you mentioned about working together with the Bellflower Symphony Orchestra. I was there last Saturday, and there was a soloist. Her name is Vanjie Taylor.
I heard her.
Yes, and she's the daughter of a former conductor and music director of the symphony orchestra. She was great. So I think it will be fantastic if you guys can work together.
I think it would be
and do
great.
a concert. That would be fantastic.
would-
So
we could do
I'll
it
get
out
you
in
in
the
touch
park
with
soon.
Mr. Ramos, who is the conductor of the symphony orchestra.
Great.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Any question of Gay? Councilmember Dunn?
questions.
Okay, Councilmember Coops?
Some people don't read music, okay? And some people can't even sing, okay? Some of them just make a noise. But you know what? We don't want to turn anybody away. Seriously, we want you to be there. We give you love and kindness, and we support you, okay? So we don't really want, we would really prefer somebody read music. That's the goal, really. And we try to teach them as much as we can, but most of these people that are senior citizens, they're really hard to teach them how to do that. There's 33 right now in our group, and there's a few that are on sick leave.
What would you say if we invite you? You wouldn't have to necessarily bring all 33 unless they want to and do a selection for us.
We would love it.
Okay, well, let's see if we can arrange that.
Okay?
That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take credit for that.
Absolutely.
He's our music guy. There's a musician playing in Santa Barbara at 4 o'clock in the
Oh my
morning.
God. Here we go again.
No, but I think to promote your group.
That's really what we want to do.
And we have a riser over there, and do something a cappella. I don't have a piano in here,
Oh, we could bring a little tape or something if we do that.
but let's see if we can set that up.
Okay? Okay, super good. Thank
And
you.
one more thing, Gay, about your rehearsal. Do you rehearse throughout the year or just how many weeks before a particular concert?
I don't really know. I'm really brand new in it. I've only been
I know.
back a
Was that
month.
your first concert when I saw
Yes,
you?
that
Oh,
was the
that was the
first
first
one.
concert. Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
was in the choir for 10 years before that, and then I started doing all this ballroom dancing and stuff, so I couldn't do everything. And so now I'm still doing the ballroom, but I wanted to sing again, so that's why I'm back. But we have 3 performances a year, and after the concert, we miss the next one, and then we start all over again.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we practice on Tuesdays, and then when it gets closer to the performance time, we also practice on Tuesday and Saturday.
Wow. Okay, that's dedication. All right, Councilmember Morse, any
No,
questions?
thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Gay. And
right.
can I give you one of the challenge points also?
okay.
For your wonderful presentation?
Oh, thank you.
Those 2 chili peppers take you out.
So we'll see you at the next concert, Gay.
I had that, that was good.
Yep.
Hey, maybe you want to give out a raffle.
I'll think about it. All right, thank you.
Gay, I'll make sure to watch it on YouTube. I apologize, and then I'll come visit at Uncle Bud's. Yeah. Yeah. See you soon.
All right, public comments. Madam City Clerk.
This is the time set aside for the public to address the City Council on matters not listed on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the City Council, whether attending in person or remotely, should be recognized by the mayor before speaking. Speakers may state their name for the record. If you wish to address the City Council on an agenda item, you may do so when the item is called and public comment is invited. In-person speakers should come to the podium, and remote participants may request to speak using the procedures described in this agenda. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to address the City Council unless adjusted by the mayor to facilitate the orderly conduct of the meeting. In-person participants will be recognized first for public comments. For remote participants, if you would like to speak, please use the raise hand feature. If by computer, it appears under the Participants tab. If by mobile app, it will appear under the More button at the bottom right-hand corner. Or if by telephone, press *9 to raise your hand. You'll be called upon in the order received and your microphone enabled so that you can provide your comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam City Clerk. Okay, any anyone would like to speak on non-agenda items? Please come up. Just sign in and state your name for the record.
John Paul Dreyer, born and raised in Bellflower. 2 Saturdays ago, my friend Tricia and I we were talking, had a nice conversation with Nathan from the AZ Market, and then unbeknownst to us, the next morning, all like the street takeover down the street from where I live, and then watching the electric saw cut away their window portion of their door, and the looting in the store, and just seeing all the donuts and the intersection of Bellflower and Somerset was really difficult for me and my neighbors. So I went there the next day, and they restocked everything right away, but I guess they lost $30,000 in goods and damages to their windows. And so I put out a video like, hey, everybody, come and shop at AZ Market. They're reopened. And my video posting on social media went like over 800 views right away. And so I hope everybody will support the AZ Market. They have a GoFundMe page that I shared on social media and with texts with neighbors. Also, we brought cookies for them to help cheer them up. It was really disappointing. But I looked at my Gemini AI on ways we can prevent or catch these people when they're organizing these group takeovers and then looting. We need to get a couple of steps ahead of them to stop these things in our community. The vector control, they offered free inspections at the Bellflower Chamber event, and I had an inspection, and they told me, like, if you have water and the mosquitoes are forming, mineral water helps to stop them from developing, the little ones. I have a minute left. I'm also concerned about, I asked for a meeting, and I've been working with councilmen where I live and where I have a business to have a meeting with the city manager, and they said I would have it, but then the city manager did make a change to something in the city clerk's office, but also we want to get to the bottom of how this mistake happened and why it happened under two city clerks. And now it was told to me that for the new election process, the city manager's decision has been upheld and it's for fair elections going forward. So I would like to have a meeting with my council members, Sanchez and Coops, with the city manager to address some important concerns for the neighborhoods of where I live and my businesses, and also with how the city clerk's office is conducted, and why the necessary change was made. And I talked to I think Dean Logan, and he was appalled. He said that was not correct. I also talked to city clerk's professional office, and they said this was unusual as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Come on up.
Beatrice Pro.
Hi, B.
I wanted to just put things in perspective for you on how progress is made on things. In 1960, I belong to the members of the chamber, let's see which organization, the Bellflower Chorus. And when it was starting in 1962, I was in college separating male and female Aedes aegypti mosquitoes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, because we had a professor that had the premise that if we could make the mosquito sterile, then that would stop the process, right? And so my sister was in the class, and she says, come help me count these mosquitoes, separate them, because you can tell the difference in a male and female Aedes aegypti. The male has like a little TV antenna on its head. So we're getting bitten to pieces separating these. And then she had to do surgery on one, separating the male components out of the other one. It was so funny, couldn't stop laughing. But it was a real experiment, and was seriously followed up on and stuff. And so now they just X-ray. How do you like that?
Yeah, exactly.
How'd you like that?
Yep.
A better
It's
mousetrap.
It's technology.
Thanks, B.
Yep. And they can separate more, a lot more faster. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? All right. Moving on to the next item.
we got?
Oh,
We go.
Mr. Mayor, city council members, my name's Loring Allen. I had some questions on public safety and also maintenance. So, for public safety, right, I hardly ever see any sheriff's department or sheriff's deputies. Hardly ever see not public works, but public safety out there in the field. We have city signs out here that says no parking after 2 hours of parking, but I know people that park in these areas, so I was wondering why they don't get tickets, right? Sometimes, like on my street, it seems like the sweeper doesn't come by because from Bellflower, 300, 400 feet, they're supposed to do the street sweeping either Tuesday or Thursday. Sometimes it doesn't look like they even came by, right? I was wondering why the city of Bellflower doesn't have U-channel posted reflectors on the stop signs so people can see those at night. I live over here on Bixby, and I see people running the stop signs. We have four-way stops on every corner, and I see people run those every day, every night. I see them on my cameras. Also happens over on Ardmore, from one end to the other end of Ardmore. They do the same thing, they run the stop signs. So I was wondering why we don't have reflectors, why the city doesn't put in solar LED flashing octagon stoplights so they see them at night. City of Compton and City of Carson has installed bumpers in intersections so we don't have street takeovers, right? So I was wondering why we don't do that here city of Bellflower because it's a deterrent, right? Because the way I see it, we don't have enough sheriff's department or sheriff's deputies to get on scene. We should have rungabouts in my neighborhood, Ardmore, Virginia. We don't have rungabouts. So I was wondering why we don't have these items like other cities, Paramount, Long Beach, Norwalk, Artesia, right? So another thing I wanted to bring up is nuisance. Like my wife and I would go out walking neighborhoods in the morning to get exercise. But there's nuisance where the neighbors have tons of weeds, flowers and stuff over the sidewalks. You can't even walk down the sidewalk without going in the street and going around. Why don't they get a citation for that? I got a list of people, right? And it's just like, I know my time's up, but
Thank you, sir. I'll have Brian McNerney, our Director of Public Safety, talk to you about the signage in terms of enforcement of parking. And Mr. Gorecki can speak to you about the trash, the sweeping. But just to let you know, we're always looking into traffic calming devices, and that's a good suggestion. We're going to look into that in terms of reflector. So we're going to work with our Public Safety Department and Public Works to look at all these things because we're constantly looking for traffic calming devices.
but I have one more thing since you guys are my
Sir,
neighbors.
I need to be fair to all these speakers, okay? So, thank you. Mr. McNary?
May I say something,
Sure, go ahead.
sir? Lauren?
Yeah.
Have you, did you know the city of Bellflower has a My Bellflower app?
Correct.
You do know that? Or
Yes, I
the other
do.
is now, okay,
Right.
it's on your phone because what you just said at the end there about the overgrown weeds and if there's graffiti, that helps. You can take the picture and send it, and that'll get taken care of. Yeah,
So
it'll go right to the right department. And
So is that for residents or is that businesses?
Everybody.
We're all.
anybody,
Everyone.
it marks it, geo marks it on the phone when it gets sent. You just snap a picture, your name, and you want a call back, you can do that. But the app has all that stuff on there. You know, the weeds would be going to public safety department. You know, would go to there. And if it was a public works like a sidewalk, it was kicked up or from the roots and trip hazard or street issues, then you would put it, in the public works section of that app, and it's working pretty good.
So what is
You can self-report is what I'm saying.
So my thing is getting retaliated from my neighbors, right?
Well, you can do it anonymously.
So when I do it,
Yeah,
they ask for my phone number and my
that's not given
Email.
out.
so.
Yeah, you can do it totally anonymous. Except when I do it, I want to be able to know it got taken care of because you get a call back or an email.
I mean, it's just like your building over there on Maple and Bellflower, right? There's writing on the windows right now on the old bank that you guys own. There's weeds. I mean, that place looks disgusting. You guys put wood up in the front windows because the windows have been broken out, right? But maintenance comes over, puts up the wood, but they don't clean up the mess. It's been like that for 2 years. It's disgusting.
Okay,
So,
just share them. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Come on up. Don't be shy.
My name is Cynthia. I've never been to one of these meetings before, but I think it has come to the time where I live in between Harvard and Clark, and there is a big dip on our street, and cars are always flying through there. And my parents have they've come here in the front, and they have requested for a dip sign, and they turned them around saying that no, that cars should know better to not go flying through residential areas. But it's kind of dangerous because they fly. My mom and I, we have a porch outside, and cars have flown where their bumper has come off entirely because they zoom through
So
this
is
street.
the dip on Clark going on?
The dip is on
Going
Harvard.
onto Clark.
So it's Harvard and Virginia.
Okay, the other side. Okay.
Yes. So there is this dip, and we have come multiple times. My dad actually has come multiple times to request for a sign, and they said no. So I'm wondering, is there anything we could do about a sign that says dip? I
When
mean,
you
we
say-
know that cars shouldn't
Hold
be
on, when
flying
you
through
say
there.
Come to where? Where did
To
you
the
go?
front, to the front desk.
Oh, the front desk.
Yes,
Okay,
they've been to
okay.
the front desk and they said no. They turned them around and they said no. So it's dangerous. It could hit a car. There has been hit and runs. They hit our neighbor actually not too long ago, and the car just fled. So
So we'll have our.
So we need a dip
Mr.
sign.
Gurecki will look into that.
Yes.
Is it an
Okay.
intersection?
no,
Oh.
it's a residential
Wow.
area. So it's Harvard and Virginia. The dip is on Harvard though.
Okay, going on to Virginia.
So it is
Yeah,
an
yeah.
intersection.
Well, no, it's
before.
residential.
It's a resident.
Just
Yes.
before.
Okay.
So
It's
I mean, if you
east of
think about it,
Virginia.
it's Harvard and Clark, the bigger streets. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but if you go there and check it out, you see all these very dented
Okay.
Scrapes.
scrapes, and they're bad. Like
So
I said,
do you live east of Virginia?
I
or-
actually live in the corner house on Virginia and Harvard, so we see everything there with our camera and pieces that are left there. And like I said, I think we need a dip sign. It's been years, and it's just a matter of time where they go into our house because we live in the corner house or a neighbor's house, or they hit one of our cars and just flee again because it has happened.
So we'll look into that.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, the other side.
Santana,
Okay,
okay,
okay, that's
that's-
what I'm
yeah.
wondering. Okay. All right.
It is an intersection. Yeah, it's an intersection.
Yeah, intersection.
It's an intersection.
Yeah.
Is there a stop sign at that intersection? No, there's no stop sign. Okay, that's why. That's why.
Yeah, I know where it is. I know where it is. All right, moving along. Item 12A, Mr. Smoot.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jim's going to come up. He's going to take this presentation for us.
Thank you, Mr. Smoot. I'm going to hand this over to Aaron Pena for for the presentation on this item.
Aaron, this is your first presentation?
It is, Mayor, yes.
Okay, very good. That's good to know.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight's presentation will consist of a public hearing to consider the city's participation in the Statewide Community Infrastructure Program, or SCIP for short. The SCIP is sponsored by the California Statewide Communities Development Authority, or CSCDA. The CSCDA is a joint powers authority sponsored by the League of California Cities with over 500 member agencies. Through the SCIP, property owners and/or developers within a participating agency's jurisdiction can apply to potentially finance public capital improvements. Facilities and/or development impact-related fees typically payable upon the receipt of development entitlements or building permits. These fees are financed through the issuance of bonds by the CSCDA. The City Council authorized the development agreement on April 13, 2026 with Bellflower 5 Investments, LLC, to implement the Flower Street Downtown Housing Project. This project will consist of a 3-story townhome development with approximately 46 units. During these development agreement discussions, the developer requested the city's participation to take advantage of the fee financing the SCIP has to offer. By joining the SCIP, this program will be available for future developments citywide. Should the City Council elect to participate in the SCIP, the benefits to the city are: 1, the program will be completely administered by the CSCDA, which requires minimal to no staff time. The CSCDA will form the appropriate district to impose an assessment or special tax, as applicable, on the developer's property to repay the portion of the bonds issued to finance the public capital improvements and/or development impact-related fees. 2, the city assumes no liability for repayment of these bonds issued by the CSCDA. And finally, the future ability to provide tax-exempt financing to developers should they decide to participate. Developers will benefit from the SCIP by having the opportunity to participate in SCIP bond financing and pay development impact-related fees sooner through the SCIP bond proceeds. For the home buyers, paying for these fees through an assessment or special tax is a better alternative than having those costs rolled into the cost of the home, reducing the mortgage balance. Although the tax bill will be higher, the amount of the mortgage will be smaller, making the qualification process easier. Moreover, since the assessment or special tax financing will be at tax-exempt rates, it typically comes at lower cost than mortgage rates. In summary, the developer benefits from the availability of tax-exempt lower rate financing. The city benefits from the availability of financing, which encourages developers to pull permits and pay fees in larger blocks or upfront in full. For home buyers, a reduced purchase price will make it easier to qualify for financing and ultimately reduce their mortgage amount. With that, staff recommends that the City Council open the public hearing, take documentary and testimonial evidence, and after considering the evidence, adopt resolution number 26-33, or alternatively discuss and take other action. That concludes my presentation this evening. Mr. Della Longa and I are available to answer any questions.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. You did well.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, all right. I was reading the staff report, and I was very, very, very impressed with the benefits, the advantages of SCIP. So I just want to make sure that I understand this. What is the downside for the city? Is there any downside?
Considering what the CSCDA has told us, there is no downside.
There's no
There's
downside for
minimal
the
to no staff time. The only staff time required for it will be if there's a change in the property owner wherever the SCIP assessment districts are formed.
Okay. I like the one of the advantages is that because of the tax rate, because it's the tax exempt bonds, so typically the tax rate is going to be much lower compared to a mortgage rate. So how can that be? How can they prevent the rates to be much higher than mortgage rate if, let's say, the property owners wants to take more profit out of it, take advantage of the situation? Is there some kind of a measure to kind of prevent that?
Yeah, so depending on how the developer, well, obviously the developer worked directly with the CSCDA. Most likely they'll enter into a pooling system. So depending on when the developer submits their application, contingent upon our approval of their application, they'll enter into a pooling system. CSCDA pools the bonds 3 times a year, fall, winter, and spring, fall, and then at the end of the year. And they'll be able to participate in those financing rates that's within the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'd have to double check this, but I believe there's a cap of 2%.
Oh, okay. So that's basically the kind of security measure to make sure that it's not being passed on.
Correct. Yeah.
To the buyer.
Yes, according to the CSCDA, the rates are usually 1.75 to 1.85.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they cannot pass it on more than what they're paying for.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Any question of Aaron or Jim? Councilmember Dutton.
When something sounds too good to be true, there's always something there.
That's why I asked the question.
Here I'm going.
Any downside?
See if I take a stab at it and get myself. So, the developer comes in and uses this bonding process to bond for the infrastructure or whatever. So the cost of the dwelling would be cheaper.
Correct.
In theory. So it's cheaper where you can get a cheaper, if you're not paying. Who polices that? That's going to be cheaper. Is it the agency polices to make sure they don't gouge and raise that price
Correct.
up? Because it sounds good, but someone's got to police to make sure the developer says, well, I'm going to hide this over here on a tax assessment, but I'm still going to get full bloated mortgage. So somebody's watching that?
Correct. Yeah, the CSCDA.
Yeah, that's CCDA.
Yeah.
Okay, they're watching that. So now the homeowner is going to have a property tax bill with that bond assessment on it, right?
Correct.
So the property tax is going to get set at the rate at the lower mortgage rate, so it's lower. But then you have the bond on there that has to be paid back over time. So who watches it to make sure that that tax bill isn't overburdened on that homeowner? That's you're going to have 2 bills. I don't know nobody knows what the infrastructure is going to cost, but they got to pay that back. It's like, but that was my concern.
It's divided pro rata over the entire development, and so each property owner is going to have their share of that amount. We know what that amount is up front based on the development
buy the
impact
home.
fees, and they'll be notified of that when they buy the home. So they will be notified through the title report that this will be an assessment on their property. It's a Mello-Roos type of tax that you would sometimes see in undeveloped areas to build all the infrastructure for those areas.
But I just don't want a homeowner to get so overburdened because sounds so good to be true, and then they get buried with the tax bill and the bond payment that's on the tax bill.
There's a disclosure requirement at the time of sale.
Well, yeah, but everybody goes,
Right.
okay, I can afford it, and, everybody knows what property taxes cost.
Can I piggyback off
Yeah,
your question?
go ahead.
Because I think it's
Yeah.
gonna help
Maybe
answer.
it'll vet out a little bit. Go ahead, I'm done.
The only time that the CSCDA can actually get involved in that area is the first sale. After that, it goes to market, correct? Market rate. The sale of the home is its independent price,
Correct.
based off comps, and the Melrose is fixed based off of either square footage divided by to each unit, essentially. So it's a fixed number. Once it sells after the first time, the price of the house will be independent, regardless of the initial development impact fees. So this is a very common approach in Irvine. That's how Irvine developed the way it developed with the Melrose. That's how they build all the parks, all the infrastructure for all those communities.
But the tax is fixed.
The tax is fixed. Yeah. In
It
this
would
case,
be
you get to-
identified on the title report when people go to
Right.
buy the property.
Right.
Right. And then that's what I wanted to ask you. My question is really related to making sure that we have no responsibility. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that, but I just want to make sure that we've done our research. We understand that we have no actual responsibilities or duties with this whatsoever. Our only task is to join the association or the CSCDA. Once we've done that, it makes the city completely, any developer in the city who comes to the city, available to use or sign up for this independently of us.
Correct, and the city has to approve them and sign off on that developer at the time that they request to use this program on
Okay.
their development.
All right, very good.
Can I chime in real quick while you're looking for your next question, Victor?
Yeah, yes, of course.
So in that retrospect to what Victor's saying, a developer they don't have to join into this. They don't have to borrow money this way. They can just develop, right? It's just available to them.
Correct,
Anybody can develop and just develop.
yes.
Okay.
But
Go
that
ahead,
brings
Vic.
me up to my next question, my next point. Do we need to have a policy for this? Are we going to expect to have a unit count minimum requirement for developers, or are we just going to go as a as needed basis?
I mean, the answer is if you want a policy, we could certainly draft one. However, I'm not sure that it's necessary. Frankly, any developer that comes in, big or small, could take advantage of this if they so choose. They have no obligation to, and I mean, unless you tell us otherwise, we have no intent to make an obligation to do so. But there are benefits to the developer. The benefit to the city is we're being paid up front, and ostensibly, as Mr. Dutton pointed out, there's some benefits to the end buyer at the end of the thing, or could be at least.
The original buyer.
Right. But either way,
Yeah.
these are development impact fees, like you said, that are common that to build infrastructure necessary to support these projects. They're going to be paid in one form or another. And ostensibly, that cost is passed on to each buyer successively down the line. Regardless of how that happens, it's going to happen in some form. This allows an alternative method of doing that can have some advantage either way. And like Councilmember Morse pointed out, if a developer chooses not to do that, there's no obligation that they take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the voluntary approach is the right way to go, but I'm asking that question for a future question more so that it'll pose, right? If it's going to be, I know that it's for home ownership only. It cannot be for rentals. Or can it be for rentals?
Councilman, I don't believe so. I think it's for home ownership
Yeah.
only.
Okay. Well, it's a cool tool. I mean, 500 other programs have joined.
CSCDA does this for a number of these types of programs similar to this. You might remember some examples where you've had PACE applications come before you, the Property Assessed Clean Energy programs. They're very similar in structure to this. CSCDA manages some of those. I don't know if Bellflower's done it through CSCDA before, but there are a number of agencies that do that. Very similar programs. This one just happens to be for development impact fees as opposed to clean energy projects. So.
And just like what you mentioned, it is very successful used in Orange County. And so far, I haven't heard any issues in Orange County at all. So, all right, Councilmember Coops. any
So
questions?
this is primarily or exclusively single-family homes, correct?
Yep.
Not residential, not rentals.
No, it could be townhomes. It could be any, as long as it's
Single
home
family.
ownership. So just like the
Not for rentals.
but just not for rentals, right? So it could be like our what's it called? What are the projects right here on Belmont?
excuse me, council member, the downtown collection by City Ventures?
Yeah, City
Yes.
Ventures, yeah, like those townhomes, those could have been in a program like this. Yeah.
Now, in my recollection of Mello-Roos, that is paid over a series of years. I mean, it's usually a pretty good size amount. It could be 50, 75,000 per homeowner, and then that has to be on your tax bill for that amount of time. So what I'm hearing is that this money, if we join this club and are offering it to those buyers, that Mello-Roos money will be paid up front at one time? Because when we talk about community development fees, I'm talking about art fee, that 3%, public safety, traffic, all those add-ons that we have when you build a new home. I get on, and that was in the report. The best part of this is that the city will be receiving their money immediately rather than later. But we're still getting it right away. When a guy comes to pull his permits and does the work, he has to dedicate his dollars to those development fees at that point in time. It's not like we've got to wait for him to finish the project and then get the money.
Councilmember Coops, a number of these development impact fees are paid on certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
So you can, using this program, they will bond for these and they can be paid upon pulling of permits rather than having to wait until the project gets done and have them paid at certificate of occupancy.
All right, but how about on the Mello-Roos, which is a big number? Is that going to go month to month, year to year?
That's approximately 20 to 30 years depending on how long the bonds go. So it'd be almost equivalent to the length of the 30-year mortgage. So
And you believe that there's a less than 2% charge for these monies?
Yes, according to the CSCDA, the cap is 2%, and based upon they actually did a webinar 2 months ago. Based upon their current projects, the rates range from 1.75 to 1.85%. Yeah.
Okay, that answers those questions.
It's a good deal.
It's pretty low. Just like what you say, it's too good to be true.
It is.
That's
too
what
good to
Mr.
be
Dutton
true.
said. Sometimes it's too good to be true.
Yeah, borrowing at 2% is awesome.
Any
Quick
other
question,
question?
Mr. De Longa, actually following up on Councilmember Coops' question. So if they were to pay at pulling of permits and the project is not complete, what happens then? Are we issuing refunds? I know it's a technical question and I hate to get into the weeds, but I'm wondering if we've thought about that.
Let us get back to you on that one,
Okay, thank
because that one we'll look into a little bit. I don't want to speak out of turn and get it wrong. We'll get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Generally, keeping in mind this is for multifamily residential projects, generally these are the types of projects where that's less likely to happen, but it's not to say that it doesn't happen. So it's a fair question.
But I would just kind of venture that most likely we have to get a refund because it didn't happen. So
And keeping it also in mind, these are development impact fees. Certain of these fees must be used within a specific period of time for those specific purposes. If they're not, we're in the same situation anyway. So,
and just like one of the biggest advantages, we get the money up front. It may take them 2 years to build the project. In the meantime, we have the money already. So. All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilmember Danton, seconded by Councilmember Morse to open the public hearing. Without objection, that will be the order. Anyone who would like to speak on this very exciting item, come on up. This is something new to us, so
Good evening, everybody.
just please sign in, sir, and state your
My name
name.
is Heriberto La Torre. I don't know if I'm on the right spot. Well, I have a property in Bellflower, and I received a ticket for $2,000 of illegal fireworks. I don't live in this property. And
Sir, this is not the right item for this.
so they say I have to pay $2,000
Okay,
because
I will just- I will just have Brian McNerney. Is Brian still here?
He's in the hallway, I think.
Okay.
Here he comes.
You can talk to Mr. McNerney.
Different department.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
well, I need to
Yeah,
talk to
yeah,
him.
that's him, that's him. All right, anyone else would like to speak on item 12A?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As a little background, I worked as a real estate appraiser for 34 years for LA County Assessor.
Oh, okay.
And we did something called public service and helped public with questions on everything. And Melrose and some of these issues came up all the time. As a part of that, I would recommend possibly giving some public education before you jump into this, because it was not always a friendly conversation we had with taxpayers. It gets put on their tax bills as assessments, and a lot of them don't understand it. They expect a certain percentage, 1% of your property value is your property taxes, and then all the other things. And then you throw in the Melrose and stuff. And I just think for the city and for our property owners here that maybe a little public education regarding this prior to jumping in on it may be a benefit to all of us. It's just merely a suggestion, but based on my history with property taxes and property owners, it can get kind of ugly.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Okay, thank you.
Can we make that a requirement? To make sure that the buyer understood that there's Melrose.
Well, I mean, I can't.
You're dealing with a whole other agency.
I can't guarantee
I can
someone's
speak to that.
understanding, but there is certainly nothing that I would see that would prohibit us from including in any application from a developer some requirement that they do some disclosure
Education,
or
yeah,
education
something
associated
like that,
with it,
yeah.
certainly.
Okay.
There's also disclosure legally.
Yeah, but I think education will help a long way. Yeah. All right, come on up.
Should I sign in again?
No.
Okay. When I was a realtor, everybody brought up Menlo Ruse. Like, it can almost devalue the property because the taxes are higher. But I guess that also creates affordable housing, maybe. But it's only for homeowners, you're saying. People need to know, they need to be educated so they're not surprised by the bill. But it's nice to know it will eventually be paid off. I didn't know that. So thank you for that information. And taxes, there's going to be so many taxes on the November ballot. I don't know, what Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association would say about this as well. Should it be voted upon by our community, following Prop 13 thinking or legally? Should we have a community vote on this because it is an extra tax? Something to think about.
All right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Mayor. This is not a tax. This
Not
is
a
simply
tax.
a way to pay the tax.
So
That's going to
Paying
be
for an
a-
investment.
we should be clear. What's already required as of today from a developer is to pay the development impact fees associated with the infrastructure necessary to support that project. That's a fee that the city council has adopted. It's not a tax, it's a fee.
Yeah.
That fee is already required to be paid to the city when a development is done. This is simply a method of paying that fee. It's not a new tax in
Right.
any way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Smoot, if you can elaborate for the purposes of the audience, how specific it actually is as new homes are created in specific areas, only in small developments, if the developer chooses to participate.
You mean for this program?
In general, yes, for this program.
So the
How it's
development
not
impact
applied-
fees, there's a structure of how those get applied to a project based on the particulars of that specific project. Some smaller projects may be exempt from some of those development impact fees and not others, depending on the specific fee. This program simply allows a developer to voluntarily choose an alternative method of paying that fee. And say, look, I'm either going to pass that fee on to the end purchaser or end resident
The
in
new
the
home
form
buyer.
of cost or in the form of
Higher sell price.
in the form of a higher sales price, or in the form of this
So it's
process.
either mortgage or tax.
Ostensibly, let's
But
say
you get a 2% loan if you do it this way.
yeah, hypothetically, if somebody comes in and says, I'm going to buy this house and live in it for the next 30, 40 years, which is everyone's hope that happens in Bellflower, that somebody comes in, purchases a home here, establishes their family here, and stays here for a significant number of years. That's what we're all looking for. If someone does that, ostensibly, that purchase price for them remains lower. Their property taxes remain lower over that period, and this developer impact fee gets paid back within that period of time. So at some point, it drops off. If that's included into the sales price, that's paid on their property taxes in perpetuity, as you know, till Jesus comes. So ostensibly, there's a benefit to that buyer in that circumstance. So that is where this comes in. As a
In other
benefit.
words, Mr. Smooth, this only applies if the developer chooses to new home constructions. If you currently own your home and your home is already
Correct.
built, this does not apply to you. It's not a tax. It is not a tax.
That's
I'll
100%
just make that.
correct.
Yeah.
And
It's just collected to the tax bill, but it's not tax.
correct.
Correct.
Yeah, it is a fee.
And that, and Victor's exactly right. The two words we had not heard, new construction. You've got an existing home you're buying or selling, this doesn't apply.
And it's optional.
Yes.
It's a way of financing
it's up to the
something that the developer was already going to pay for.
All right. Anyone else?
Not seeing any, I'll move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Danton, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez to close the public hearing. Without objection, that will be the order. All right. What is your pleasure?
Let me take a stab at it, Mayor.
All right. Go ahead.
Make a motion to adopt resolution number 26-33, and a resolution authorizing the city of Bellflower to join the statewide community infrastructure program known as SCIP, authorizing California Statewide Communities Development Authority to accept applications from property owners and conduct a special assessment of the Melrose proceedings, levy assessments, special taxes in the form of assessment districts, community facility districts, and issue bonds within the territory of the city of Bellflower, approving the form of acquisition agreement for the use of applicable, and authorizing related actions.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Councilmember Danton, seconded by Councilmember Coops for the City Council to adopt Resolution 26-33. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dutton,
Aye.
Councilmember Coops,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez,
Aye.
Mayor Santinez.
Aye. All right. Congratulations. Oh, next item, item 12B. Mr. Smooth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Beth and her team are coming up for this one, make this presentation for you.
All right, Ms. Concepcion, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. The item before you is regarding zoning ordinance text amendment case number 26-01, ordinance number 1152. A little bit of a background here. In early 2025, the City Council approved a series of general plan amendment, the zone change, specific plan, as well as zoning ordinance text amendments to implement the housing element programs. And following City Council's approval, the documents were submitted to HCD, which is the State Department of Housing and Community Development. Between October 2025 and August 2026, correspondence was sent and meetings were held between the city and HCD regarding the city's housing element implementation. Pretty much HCD requested that the city include specific provisions that would address mixed-use development as it relates to allowing 100% residential use, as well as imposing a minimum 50% of the square footage of the mixed-use development to be dedicated for residential uses. In addition, they have indicated that the owner-occupied and rental multifamily uses must be explicitly indicated that it's permitted by right for developments in which 20% or more of the units are affordable to lower-income households. Lastly, HCD requested that all sites being rezoned to satisfy the city's lower-income household shortfall permit a minimum of 20 dwelling units per acre. So as presented tonight, the zoning code amendment will tackle both the amendments requested by HCD, and in reviewing those amendments, we did find that there are a couple of cleanups that we could do to better to improve the provision, which includes removal of duplicate terms, and as well as possibly removing possible constraints, development constraints such as the floor area ratio. The proposed revisions will be illustrated with a strike-through for existing language that is proposed for deletion and the underlying language for the proposed new provision. So amendment number 1, as noted, the items that are underlined are those that are being requested by HCD to be included in our code provision, and the ones that are being struck out are the cleanup items, specifically the terms apartments and triplex. Those are being struck out as the definition for multifamily dwellings already covered those two different uses. As you can see here, we did add the language pertaining to 20% of units being restricted to lower income household in order for that development to be permitted by right, which means there's no discretionary review and that the approval is based on objective standards as listed in the WHO's chapter. In addition, we did include a provision for mixed-use developments that indicate that at least 50% of the gross floor area of the development be allocated for residential use. Amendment number 2, as a result of that, we did include a new section, which is the conditional uses, which pretty much indicate that multifamily dwellings that do not incorporate the 20% lower income household be approved via conditional use permit rather than permitted by right. Amendment number 3 is a revision on the development standards, again in response to HCD's request, which is to identify a minimum density of 20 dwelling units per acre within the housing opportunity overlay planning areas. And lastly, amendment number 4, as mentioned earlier, more so like a cleanup, to be remove possible development constraints by taking out the floor area ratio, which is right now we do have it as a maximum of 0.75. For clarification, the WHO's area is already established, and what is before you is the amendment of the WHO's provision only, as requested and or required by the state, and there's no development or any physical improvements being proposed at this time. Staff's recommendation would be to open the public hearing, take testimonial and documentary evidence, and after considering the evidence, read by title only, waive first reading, and introduce ordinance number 1152, or alternatively, discuss and take other action related to this item. This concludes staff's presentation, unless there are any questions.
All right, thank you, Ro, for your presentation. So I received a couple of phone calls about this item. Let me just clarify a couple of things. We already adopted the housing element a while back. So these are basically some cleanup that we need to do. And second of all, emphasize to the caller that basically the WHO's area, the WHO's, H-O-O-Z, it's giving the property owner the opportunity to provide more housing. So, but they're not obligated to change anything. They can stay the way it is. But if they want to, they can avail of these options in terms of development, more dense housing, so to speak. And secondly, in terms of the changes, the way I see it is that HCD already accepted our housing element to be in compliance with the RENA requirements. And so if, let's say, we don't make these changes into our housing element, my own assessment is we might be deemed non-compliant in terms of our housing element. Is my assessment correct?
That is what HCD mentioned in their letters.
And if we are non-compliant, and there are consequences for being non-compliant, we can always fight it legally, but from what I've seen so far, they have lost. Whoever fought against HCD have lost so far. So anyway, those are just my comments. So in effect, the bottom line is we need to do it to be in good graces with HCD. Correct? All right. Very good. Thank you. Any question of Councilmember Dan?
So along Sonny's lines, they accepted what we gave them, and then with the letters, I know that the letters came and they wanted this, so that you had meetings and they steered you, was it a negotiation that they want 50% floor of mixed use, 20 units minimum per acre in certain zones? Was it, I mean, did they demand is what we want, or
So
how do we arrive at it, I guess?
So we've had several meetings with them, as well as exchange of letters, pretty much letting them know that from our point of view, we've met and we are in compliance. However, they did issue a couple of letters that basically say in order to be in compliance, specific languages need to be inputted, or rather be incorporated in the provisions that we had adopted.
It was our view on many of these items that your existing code already allowed for these things. In other words, we said that's already allowed. These are permitted by right. And HCD effectively told us, yes, but we want it written in your code. Okay.
It is in the code.
Well, that was our
But
point back, but we
we
said,
don't
okay, if you
have-
want to write it in, we can write it in, no problem. So
We don't have 20% of a multifamily development has to be lower income. That's not written in our code.
The way that the code is currently written is that all multifamily dwellings are permitted by right. However, from HCD's point of view, and I believe it's because they want to incentivize incorporation of lower income housing, that they have requested / somewhat required that we include that language in our current provision.
And our code, existing code, is 20 units per acre? In whose area?
Currently, we do not have a minimum dwelling units per acre, or rather density. We only establish a maximum. However,
Yeah, but they want a minimum.
they want to establish a min in addition to the max.
And again, what if we don't go to this? Do we roll the dice?
Exactly.
We've rolled the dice a lot of times. But, I mean, some of this don't set well with me, so I'm just saying.
Mr. Mayor, members of the
Yeah.
council, if I may. My observation is most of this is form over substance, and it is something that I think is an overreach by Sacramento. However, as you know, my advice is to fight the battles that you can win, and why fight a battle that is basically useless from the standpoint of battling, because we already have it in the code. They want a specific line in the code. Legally, it really doesn't make any difference. So we might as well put it into the code to make HCD happy in this circumstance, and you can keep your powder dry for another day for something that actually means something.
Save for a bigger battle.
Costly.
What's this fight do to the agricultural zone?
That was my question.
It's not.
It seems like it was
It's not,
dodged.
it's not included.
It's
There's
not.
no-
I didn't see it
there's-
anywhere in the staff report.
There's no who's.
It's not in the
Yeah,
who's.
It's not in the who's.
It's just
Only
the
the
who's.
who's. Only the
only.
who's.
Here.
Right?
Okay, just the
Only
who's
the
only.
who's.
Okay.
It's page 22 of the report.
Yep.
Is the map.
All right.
That's it.
You're good? All right. Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, have any question?
No, I think we've hashed this one out.
Yeah.
This was part of an ongoing conversation that staff kept us in the loop with, and I think to the city attorney's point, we're just crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It's just language preference, apparently.
All right, good. Councilmember Morse. All right, Councilmember Coops.
I'm prepared to open the public hearing.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay.
All
there
right,
you go.
motion by Councilmember Coops, seconded by Councilman Morse to open the public hearing. Without objection, that will be the order. Come on up if you want to speak on this item.
Mayor, just for the
Oh,
record as well,
oh,
we
we
did receive written public comment, and that was distributed as supplemental material.
Oh, that's right. Okay, we got that. Thank you for your reminder. All right, come on up.
John Paul Dreyer. I'm in support of following state law. The cities of Norwalk, Huntington Beach, and other cities lost hundreds of thousands of dollars fighting this law. And also we should follow federal law too. a lesson the city had to learn. We also need to prepare for the new law when we have our train station. People can go up to 9 stories if they're a quarter mile. We're going to have to make other adjustments. I think it's really important that we have affordable housing in this. The research says if you have affordable housing that's integrated with medium and high, you're less likely to have gangs and other problems because they'll have more positive role models socioeconomically. It's just the parking. I'm concerned about street parking issues later, but we have to look at that separately. But let's follow state law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right.
Seeing none, Mayor, motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, seconded by Councilmember Coops to close the public hearing. Without objection, that will be the order. All right. Councilmember Coops, I thought you're ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, it was received.
So I'll make a motion to we had the public hearing. Zoning ordinance text amendment case number ZOTA 26-01 and 2 read by title only, waive first reading and introduce ordinance number 1152, an ordinance approving zoning ordinance text amendment case number ZOTA 2601, amending chapter 17.66 housing opportunity overlay zone HOOTS of the Bellflower Municipal Code to address uses and development standards to implement the housing element. There's my motion.
All right.
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
All right. I almost got scared there. I think it almost died. Motion by Councilmember Coops, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez for the City Council to adopt ZOTA 26-01 and the other motions. All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dutton,
No.
Councilmember Coops,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez,
Aye.
Mayor Santinas.
Aye. Motion carried. All right. There are no ordinances or resolutions for consideration. No consideration items. Consent calendar. Does anyone want to pull any items from the consent calendar?
I don't
Does
want to
anyone
pull
have
anything, but I
to
do have a
recuse?
conflict
Okay.
on 15E.
Recusal. 15.
E like Edward.
Okay.
Yeah.
15E. All
With
right.
I have a property conflict.
And
Okay.
I'm the same 15E I'm out on.
Okay.
Property conflict.
I think there's one. 15E. We need to draw a lot.
Yeah, I think
According
Dutton's
to
in the
the
same
clerk.
place. Yeah.
I'm conflicted out on 15D and E.
15D and E. Okay. Madam Clerk.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We will draw lots for item 15E. If you'll bear with me here, Councilmember Dutton is conflicted.
Let me see. Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, won that one.
Councilmember Morse,
Let me confirm. Okay. Right spelling. All right.
Mr. Mayor, did anyone pull 15D?
No.
May I pull 15D?
15D.
Please.
and Councilmember Coops.
There I am.
Let me see. Okay. Confirmed.
Okay,
And the winner is?
We will draw one council member to participate in 15E. And it will be Councilmember Coops.
Congratulations. Yay. All right. You just win the lotto.
Yes.
All right. Item 15D is being pulled.
And I got to leave. Is it?
Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
That was D, right? Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
go
be
that
like
far.
David.
Any other,
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
well, it's okay, go ahead.
it won't take long, right?
No,
Okay, okay,
no,
okay,
no.
okay.
No, I just want to read it line by line. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering, kind of given the public comments that we received today, I know we're converting one of the sections into a four-way stop. Wondering if we should try these reflective things on this one and see what that would look like as a pilot, or if we can look into it at least, Mr. Gorecki.
Reflective.
Stop
So
sign.
the stop signs that we purchase are reflective. The solar with the LEDs,
I believe
we've had them here before.
it's the reflective on the poles. It's the reflective tape or whatever it's called.
Oh, on the
Pole. Yeah, the city of Norwalk does it. The city of Paramount, they do it now too as well. It's like a reflective tape all the way through, so the whole pole stands out basically as you're driving through into it. If you go down the 605,
But I'll certainly take a look at it.
yeah, I'll send you some intersections. But if you go down on, if you exit on Alondra off the 605 heading southbound, no, northbound, and you drive into that Norwalk community, they have all that.
So just reflect. There's no flashing light.
There's no flashing
Okay.
light.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
reflective tape on the pole.
Yeah. Well,
Just take a look at it.
More than happy to take a
Is
look
it
at
red and white reflective or?
It's red and white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no, I've seen the
it.
red. I've seen the red poles in
Yeah.
Norwalk, but that's a solid red pole. But I haven't
Solid red,
seen them
solid
at
red and
nighttime.
white.
But I'll
It's
certainly more than
reflective.
happy to take a look at it. Yes.
Take a look at it. That's it.
All right, very good.
15E was the one you pulled some?
No, no one pulled 15E.
Oh, okay.
We're good, we're good.
Mr. Dutton's coming back.
Yes, that's for 15. Not yet, we'll wait for Ray. Okay, all right. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move the consent calendar.
Motion by Councilmember Coop, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez to approve the consent calendar. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dutton,
Aye.
Councilmember Coops,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez,
Aye.
Mayor Santenaz.
Aye. All right, council reports. Councilmember Dutton.
I have nothing to share tonight, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Coops.
I'm with Mr. Dutton.
All right, Councilmember Morse.
Nothing to share.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
I'll let you share the events we were at.
What
Oh, we have to contact cities.
The ribbon cuttings.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, it was great. Great ribbon cutting over at the Pan over on Lakewood and Rose Street. Great little spot. Great business owners. I think they have a lot of good meal drive-through as well. So good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on that. I was pleasantly surprised in terms of their menu. They're open for breakfast and lunch. It's a good selection, actually. Good selection for a drive-through in a gas station. That's very unusual.
And I think it's their
Ninth
location. So they know what
and
they're
this
doing.
their first drive-through. All the rest are sit down.
Public Works likes it.
Right. Okay. Anyway, just a couple of things here. As mentioned earlier, I was at the concert by the Bellflower Symphony Orchestra. It was fantastic. Great event, nice music, and thanks to our Parks and Rec department for organizing this event. I mean, the sound system was really good. The lighting was good. And also, it's been warm lately. Traditionally, we go back to suit and tie after Labor Day. So unless there is an objection, I'd like to extend the council shirt. For one.
Good. Oh, you just. I think we ought to go to like
No, no, no,
third
no.
week October.
till the end of
2029.
September. And we go back to suit and tie in business suit in October.
How about we revisit
Revisit
it?
it.
At the
We'll
end of
revisit it.
September?
Let's get a weather. We'll get
No,
the
wait a minute.
forecast.
Is there any objection to extending
objection.
it by 1 month? Okay, let's take it one day at a time, okay? Is there any objection to extending it one more month?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, so
Why don't we wait till we reorganize?
let's take it one,
I like
one,
that idea.
one meeting at a time, okay?
I know what
All right.
Victor will do.
I've been watching.
Baby steps.
I've been watching the weather, so I'm with you. All right, and finally, I would like to adjourn this meeting in honor of and celebration of the birth of Romy Sayun Lee. Congratulations are in order for the proud parents, Assistant City Manager Wang Su Lee and his wife Sarah, on the birth of their first child, Romy Suyun Lee. Romy was born, Romy was born July 25th at 7:53 a.m. to Wang Su and his wife, lovely wife Sarah Lee. She weighed 7 pounds and was 20.25 inches long. Romy is Wang Su and Sarah's first baby, and all are doing well, including the dad. Congratulations to the Lee family on the birth of Romy Suyun Lee. So with that, we will adjourn this meeting in honor and celebration of Romy, in the birth of Romy Suyun Lee. to the next regular meeting of Bellflower City Council at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, September 14, 2026. This meeting is now adjourned.
12B went quick.